Thing is going off. Yeah. We're on for about 10 minutes here or so, just getting our levels, letting Oscar and the tech guys get everything, you know. Can you hear me now? How about you, Cody?
Good.
Can you hear Cody, or is Cody's volume much lower than mine?
Can you hear me? I am talking.
He's talking? Yeah. Your wife says you talk way more than you need to. We're glad to have you tuned in for a little bit before we get ready for our Wednesday night Bible study. We're going to have a missions letter here a little bit. I suppose all of us are probably over this whole situation. I know we're trying to be patient and all that. I got to tell you, I was really disappointed that Governor Ivey didn't, release restrictions on restaurants and on, religious gatherings and stuff. But so a couple more weeks and we'll just have to see, but it needs to come to an end. But it has been a difficult time. Cody and I were talking before we got on going live about the different, scare things we've had over the last 10 years or so. And we were thinking about the swine flu. And what was the one you were talking about?
I just made up one. The bovine.
Oh yeah,
flu.
yeah. The bovine flu. Yeah, we haven't. That's one we haven't seen. We've had SARS, and of course this one. Is supposed to be tied back to a bat, right? This is the bat flu.
Somebody ate a bat or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. They have some.
I thought it was a rat at first, but
it's a bat. I'll tell you one thing. You haven't been to China. Those folks will eat some stuff. Trust me. Even the Filipinos and they don't compare. I don't think. Balut. Yeah. We need some balut, right? Blossom probably makes that for Caleb every now and then. Bury an egg in the backyard. But there's all kinds, and then we had the mosquito, what was that called? The West Nile virus, right? Wasn't that what it was called?
Yep.
The mosquito thing, I thought, the one that will really, if a bat did this to us, can imagine the next one. I see one coming, it's going to be the feline, the feline flu or the feline virus. And it's transmitted through contact with household cats. So
cats are evil.
I think so. I think the wisest thing we could do, we don't want to lose anybody. We don't have any problems. I think we should just go out there and wipe out all the house cats.
The Egyptians understood. They believed that the cats were the guardians of the underworld.
They did,
and they had the right idea because that's why cats are so mean.
Well, I suppose it is. Now, Mickey Walls is probably about ready to shoot me already. If she's not even posted down there, I ain't getting rid of my cats. I know, Mickey. Okay, it's just a joke. But really, it is crazy days in which we live. I don't know. I know your wife gave you a haircut the other day, right? Because everybody's talking about a haircut. I'm gonna have to start wearing or using like hair product. You use hair product? Come on, you do? Okay,
well,
he does.
Gel.
Okay, that's hair
But
product.
I found it in a storage unit.
You found it in a store. Now you are pure independent Baptist, man. You found it in a storage unit, man. Looks like gel. We'll try it. That's great. In my day, as a teenager, the only guys, if a guy was wearing any kind of hair product or mousse or something, we just gave it to him, and now it just seems to be the deal. But, my hair's getting so long, I don't know, maybe I'm going to get one of those little ponytails back there, those little, those little ones back there.
What do they call those?
Rat
tails?
Is it a rat tail? Is that what they call it?
Or a man bun?
No, I'm not going to have a man bun. No, I'm not going there. I'll get a little ponytail thing, but I ain't going to do the, not doing no bun thing. We're sorry, Cody and I are just having a good time here. We do have some serious things to tell you. First, let me remind you that next Wednesday night, Lord willing, unless we have a problem, next Wednesday night we're going to do a Awana Awards night here at 6:30. Give the Awana Awards. Although, maybe I should ask Commander Mike, but maybe we ought to wait on that and see if they release it and where people could actually be here. So. Let me get back to you on that. Let me check Mike, because it'd be better if we could have everybody here. But right now the plan is to do that next week. So, and then I know you got a missionary letter from the Carpenters Project with John and Sue Conrad. What's going on in the Carpenters Project world?
So in the Carpenters Project, they start talking about, they ask the question, is there any hope? And they talk about Haiti and how even in the best of times here in the United States, they're still plagued with disease, poor health care, political instability, high unemployment, sounds like our country right now. but above all, spiritual darkness, and which, contrary to our country, we have every opportunity to find the needs for our, or the way for our spiritual needs to be met. We have Bibles on the internet for free. We have good churches all throughout the country, but they don't have that in every part of Haiti. And so he asks, is there any hope for Haiti? And he says, yes, there is, because a lot of the missionaries, the pastors there, they're really devoted to the work, and they're continuing even with the COVID-19 and all the other different things that they struggle with. They're faithful to their evangelistic church planting call and are tirelessly laboring in the harvest of precious souls. And I'm sure, just like most other places in the continent, in the world, the globe, they're seeing more people asking spiritual questions.
Yeah.
We were talking to Mike Jones about that. I talked to him last week about that, about how just different opportunities, people seeking and questioning, wondering.
Yeah, I guess when it's this dark, the light shines brighter, I guess.
And they're facing their own mortality, and so they're asking questions that maybe they never thought of. But then he also talks about how the money that's been given over the past year, what it's been used for. And so the first one is he mentions an Ethiopia discipleship book, and I have nice little pictures here in front of me, but it's this book written in Ethiopian. It's written in Amharic by Bruhanu, and the gifts that were given over the past year funded the first printing of 2,000 copies of this, containing 15 lessons for new believers, so that they can grow in the Lord and have a discipleship.
That's been a challenge for Berhanu. He says, they get folks to come to Christ, but then we have a responsibility to make disciples out of them, and they just haven't had the materials in any of the Amharic is the main language, but even that language don't have any materials. So that's a big endeavor and a great blessing. What else they got going on?
And they do say the first 2,000 copies, so it sounds like many more are on the way. But other than that, in India, the Poduru Church building, which, if I'm not saying this correctly, go ahead and slaughter
Who's
me in
the
comments. Brother Monger might know. He
Oh,
went to
that's
India
true. That's
recently,
true.
so he can slaughter me in the comments if he knows.
Yes. Yeah.
So your gifts last
Bobby,
winter,
let him know if he's messing up that.
So the last winter's gifts went to fund this church, and there's a photo of the church, but because of the COVID-19 and India being on lockdown, it's delayed the official dedication of the new building, and so they haven't been able to dedicate it. That's been put on hold, but they have a building to meet in once all this is over. And then in Myanmar, or Myanmar, however you like to pronounce it.
Or Burma. You want to go old school. But yeah, all right, what's going on there?
So whichever way, pick your poison. They made a community well. Maybe I shouldn't say pick your poison as we start talking about community well.
Yeah, a well.
But the gifts funded the digging of a 40-foot well in Rakhine, where missionary Gideon is starting a church. This will provide good water to the village that might not otherwise have the opportunity to have clean water. This will also help to open the hearts of unbelieving Buddhists to the living water. Interestingly, about the whole water thing, I remember before they closed up in Indiana, the Christian bookstore, they used to have a thing where you could give money for water purification supplies, and they would have a bottle of water, and it literally looked like someone went out and filled a bottle of water with a puddle. And that's the water that those people in those countries have to drink.
Wow.
Because they don't have clean water to drink.
Wow.
And then the last one is Ethiopia Study Bibles. The gifts that were given funded the distribution of 26 study Bibles to pastors and missionaries to help them further the work that they're doing.
Excellent. Well, continue to pray for John and Sue Conrad. Most of you in our church have met them several times. I'm sure they'll be back through here at some point. But continue to pray. If you don't know, that they're the ministry that we've partnered with to build churches in Myanmar and in Ethiopia and now in, well, Nigeria kind of. But we'll probably do, Lord willing, my desire is that the Lord will use us to build more churches or ministry facilities around the world to help our brothers and sisters in Christ, as they spread the good news. So, excellent. What's going on with youth group?
And line our walls with
Yeah,
more
that's right. We have to
buildings.
build some more. Yeah, if you've never been to our church, we got little replicas of all the, I shouldn't say they're not really little, are they? They're pretty good size on the walls. People say, why do you do that? Because I always tell them, well, I want missions to never be, I always want it to be in our minds. And every time you come in this auditorium, you see the buildings and you understand why it's important that our churches like ours, we keep going. Sometimes it gets discouraging. People in America are just hard to the gospel. They don't really care. But, that if you keep missions, there are people we can reach both here and around the world. So, yeah. So I've never seen them. They are pretty neat.
It's like the stones in Joshua.
Yeah, there you go. When they
Like,
crossed over
anytime
the Jordan River. Yeah.
You see it, you think of
Yeah.
the people there that we've never met. But
Yeah.
can
Well,
pray
I can
for
tell
them.
you this, every single one of these churches was built by faith, with the monies that came in were monies that, I don't know, I didn't know how in the world, in and of ourselves, that we could raise that money, and we couldn't, but God did. And so it's been a miracle, and so, Lord willing, we'll see what God lays on our heart to do another one somewhere, whether it's back in Ethiopia or in Nigeria or in Burma or in Haiti or who knows where, but so we appreciate it. So what's going on in youth group?
So tonight we're going to have another Zoom meeting. If you don't have the link, you can ask, I think we're looking at this camera, you can ask my wife or myself for the link and we can get you put in there. Oscar showed the church buildings. But we're going to talk about Daniel chapter 2, the first part, where Nebuchadnezzar threatens to kill all the soothsayers and
the wise men
of Babylon. And so that'll be a good, interesting, some things that I've never thought about while I was studying. I thought about, but I had never thought about before. And so that's going to be interesting. We're going to test the teenagers' deception abilities.
Well, that should be good. I'm sure. Got that, Mom and Dad? We're teaching them how to be better deceivers.
No, we have to learn
good job.
how good they are.
Yeah.
So we know when they're
That's
telling
kind of
us
what
the
we're
truth.
talking about tonight in the adult Bible study, being a hypocrite and being who you really are, so versus what people think. So interesting. That'll be good.
There's going to be 3 or more people, and we've asked them questions. So, like, do you like cats? And
Well, that's an easy answer. I mean,
so then we'll have the 3 people, and they all have
who's got
to
a German
say
Shepherd?
Yes. And then we have to figure out which one is lying. Which one is saying they like it, but they don't.
They really don't.
And so,
Wasn't there a game show back to tell the truth? Wasn't that what it was called, huh? Remember that old game? Some of you old timers remember the tell the truth. Who is it that's really telling the truth? Will the real so-and-so please stand up? And they had to try to figure out who was lying. And Jenny always said I should be on that show as one of the liars. That's what she said. But that's just because she's so naive, At least she used to be. Then we got into ministry and she became a pastor's wife and no longer. It just took that right out of her. But all right, well, we're glad y'all have tuned in tonight. Lost papers. I hope we looked at the right cameras. I don't know. Which camera are we typically on, Oscar? Was that one over there? This one where the light's on. Okay. See, we have a little light that says we're on the air or live, but we have all these cameras now, and Pastor Cody and I typically don't know which camera's on. We're working on getting a system where there can be a little red light on whichever one is on, so that I can know and I can look at it instead of going, "Hey, I'm talking right to you," But thank you for joining us. Will anything else you got? You done? Good.
that's all I have.
All right. Well, we will be back live here in about 10 minutes for our Wednesday night Bible study, and then we'll be back, Lord willing, on Sunday. And if we don't see you here, we're going to see you there.